What's going on, y'all? This is your boy Chris Banks, aka Banks C06. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter or follow me on YouTube. Right now, we're about to go ahead and jump into the third installation on our benefits of an up and coming artist signed to an independent label as opposed to a major record label in the year 2012. Today's series is about size. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do this thing. First, we're going to talk about some of the benefits of being signed to a major record label. First, we're going to get into major record labels are usually able to secure better distribution than an independent record label. And when I say distribution, I'm talking about things like packaging, things like manufacturing, etc., etc. And the reason why it is because they have connections. They not only do distribution for you, but they're going to be doing distribution for a number and a host of other artists. So this is definitely something that you'll find is easier for a major record label to do as opposed to an independent record label. You also look at how easy it is for them to allocate marketing budgets, promo budgets, and I'm leaving one out, advertising budgets. All of that's kind of easier for a major record label to do. In this day and age, it's always kind of been one of those things that's been more prevalent for them. It's kind of, if you look at it now, it's kind of leveling out because of the way the trends that are going through the music business now. But when you look at that, kind of is a plus still at the major record label. And I also say because they can pull strings at a major record label. Major record labels have strings that they can pull within the media. And my example with that would be Lil Wayne and let's just say Chris Banks, an artist named Chris Banks. On the same label with Lil Wayne. YMCMB calls up Vibe magazine and say, "Hey Vibe, guess what? I got this artist right now, Chris Banks. You remember he's got this hot single out. He's getting ready to drop his album in a couple weeks. We want you guys to come down and to do an interview with us. If you come down and do an interview with us and interview Chris, what we'll do is we'll throw Lil Wayne in. You can go ahead and get 2 interviews on the same day. It's kind of like a packaging deal. So as an artist, Chris Banks will get packaged with Lil Wayne just to get Vibe to come down and kind of interview Chris Banks when really the story that they want is Lil Wayne. So you can kind of see how that goes. Now we're going to flip and shift gears a little bit. Some of the negative sides of being signed to a major record label would be having to fight for attention on that label. When you look at it, you're kind of like the small fish in a big pond at a major record label. You have to fight for attention. We're going to use the same example, that Chris Banks character being signed on the same label as a Lil Wayne. He's going to have to fight for every ounce of attention that he can get. And until he is able to build his fan base up, until he's able to be recognized on his own as an artist that has some kind of notoriety that's similar to the likes of that of Lil Wayne, he's not going to get as much respect, and he's going to have a hard time on that label. And that's just from the label. That's not even talking about the fans. And also, you're probably going to receive a smaller budget for your advertising and things like that. When you look at someone like a Lil Wayne, he's going to get a much larger budget to do his promo, advertising, and marketing than you would on the flip side, unless you're just that guy coming out of the box. And that's one of those things that you look at, and it's kind of like, so that's one of the negative sides of being signed to a major record label. Now we're going to shift gears and flip it back over into the pros of being signed to an independent record label. And the first thing is the independent record label is kind of going to allow you to work with them, and the key word is work with them on allocating that budget for the promo, marketing, and advertising to where you feel like it should go. And that's where if you feel like it should go with the single, if you feel like it should go for the album, wherever you feel like it should go. If you feel like it should go via internet presence or via hard copy presence, wherever you feel like it should go, they probably will work with you on that, which is definitely a plus because a lot of artists nowadays want to have a say-so in what's going on when it comes to different budgets and things like that. And with that being said, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to advertise. On the flip side of everything, nowadays with the internet, it's easier for independent record labels to market to fans. That levels the playing field for independent record labels and major record labels, because now they can compete with the major record labels because there's not as much money being spent on marketing to the fans because it's being done via internet. And when I say via internet, I'm talking about all of these social media sites that you probably can imagine. The different blogs, Facebook, YouTube, when you look at Twitter, and any of the other sites that you might visit on a day-to-day basis. This is where this music is coming up at. allhiphop.com, different magazine sites, different sites all over the place. This is where a lot of this promo is going to take place, and it's kind of done for free, or not for free. Let me not say for free. I'll say at a lower rate than what you would have to print it as, and that's one of the benefits of the independent record label now, because now they can afford to put you out in the same light that a major record label would. And, you know, as an artist, that's what you want. You want to be able to compete with other major artists on a level playing field. Now, some of the takebacks or setbacks to being signed to a independent label as far as size is that you're gonna have the independent label is going to have less purchasing power. And when I say purchasing power, I mean they're not going to be able to get some of the things that the major record label can get for you. And when I say that, I'm talking about touring, I'm talking about distribution, I'm talking about all of that packaging. Instead of being able to get maybe 5,000 CDs printed and packaged, they might only be able to get 2,000. Maybe 1,000. You know, it just depends on what can be afforded at that time period, and they have fewer strings that they can pull within the media. And when I say that, you know, at an independent record label, they might not have a major artist that they can call the media up and say, hey, look, we don't really have anybody, but we got this new artist, Chris Banks. He's dope. We would like for you to go ahead and come down and interview him. What do you guys think about that? Somebody advised, probably like, okay, well, we'll see what we can do. We'll probably sit down a new intern, probably sitting down somebody that's new at the company, and the story might make it into the paper. I mean, into the magazine, or it might not, or it might do it on its own, depending upon the artist and what kind of rep he has or she has at that moment. So it's all kind of dependent upon what the artist is doing, but most of it depends on what kind of strings that the record label can pull. And as I always tell you guys, that this is the most important part right here. In the year 2012, I still believe that it is important for an up-and-coming artist to sign to an independent label. Let me say that one more time. To sign to an independent label. And the reason why this is because it gives you time to build yourself. Your most important asset as an artist is your craft. That's what you want to be working on. And at an independent label, I feel like you can do that. I feel like at an independent label, you will have time to focus on your craft. You will have time to build your fan base. And you have time to combine all of that into being where you want to be. And after you get that done, you can then turn around and say, hey, I've done my civic duty to the record label, that you're at the independent record label. I want to seek out something bigger and better. You can start going to the major record labels and say, hey, I'm interested. Can you buy my contract out? Or whatever. And these are things that are going to help you as an artist. Definitely be sure to give me your feedback. Once again, if you haven't already done so, follow me on Twitter. That's twitter.com/banksc06, or follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/banksc06. And don't be afraid to, and don't forget to check out my new website. That's www.mernaemedia.com, MERNAE media.com. Once again, this is your boy Chris Banks, and I'm signing out just like that. Peace.